Hi, Saints. Obviously, it's at night, wearing my PJs and everything, and I wanted to actually touch on a topic. Based on the heading, you can already tell where we're going, and I'm actually so excited talking about this because I feel like everything that I say are most probably the things that most of us are encountering, and most of us probably might not even have to encounter it, but we're very much thoughtful of it. I'm one person, I always plan things. I'm a planner. I don't just move. That's one thing that I'm not. And growing up in my environment, I've been meeting a lot of people who are very much fake. People will be like, I don't even do that. Like, I just cross the bridge when I get there. Those kind of people. So, one thing that I actually realized that I have been having encounters, like every day you have an encounter with something, and you also get to discover something new, and from that you learn from it, right? So during most of my studies, I have dated, and I've met new people. You understand, like you meet strangers because around about all my entire years of studying, I have been one person who's been moving around. For example, I've moved for work, and you realize that you're meeting new people at that time because this is like out of class or out of school and everything, and like you just meet people around, and also you meet people on the street and stuff like that. The environment actually just changes from your ordinary home, you understand, and the people that have raised you, because you basically aren't raised alone. Like we just a group of kids, we grow together and stuff like that. But yeah, so when you are born around about 2000 until, let me just say, 2006, I think you kind of feel like you're old enough to be making bold decisions in 2024 and 2025. You think that you're ready for anything and everything, and that some other mistakes, we could say mistakes, um, are very much, I don't know, manageable. We can just say that most of our mistakes are manageable. For example, like having a child, you'd be thinking, well, I'll go look for work and my kids will be left with my parents and stuff like that, not knowing that you still have to enjoy your early 20s, your middle 20s, and your late 20s. I for one, I would just say that since I'm 24, I would say that I feel like I have received a lot of information, a lot of advices from strangers, people at home, family members, even at church. You get those people, those mothers, those sisters, those cousins, even men in the church would also give you advice as a young lady, based on how you should be carrying out yourself, especially in the Christian world, how your norms, how you object yourself to people, how you perceive yourself, and all that. It's basically character. What I have learned so far from my experience is that I became one person who's very much loving to a lot of people, whereby if I've actually met narcissists for the first time getting out from my home environment. You get people who be acting so much vulnerable, where they would want to suck out every love that you have. Sometimes even money. If you're one person who's always giving out money and stuff like that, you become an easy target. That, oh, should I cry about this? They'll be taking out money. Should I do this? They'll be loving me. They'll be nurturing me and stuff like that. You just basically meet a lot of people, you know, a lot of people, and with different characters. So based on every encounter with different people and all their characters and everything, you come to realize that you can't actually pinpoint a person who's acting like another person. For example, if A is acting like this, B is acting differently, then you see C has the same characteristics as A, but you're like, nah, man, there's something. You can never pinpoint what a person is actually thinking or what their intentions are. But what I can tell you as a child of God is that your character should be built on the people that are doing something in your life. It shouldn't really be a drastic change. For example, when a person says, yeah, I do care about you, I care about your schoolwork, and they start applying for you, and you get into that institution, then you start doing whatever course that you want to do, and all that. It shouldn't be very much something that is drastic, but should you get that, then that's a blessing all on its own. So, what actually came into my mind right now was, what do we do in our early 20s? How would you say that you have actually spent it in a manner that is right? You understand? And what are the mistakes have you made? And within all those mistakes, were the ones that you can actually rectify, how many of those are rectifiable? How many of those would actually take time for you to rectify them? And how many of them you can just easily just rectify right now? And also, how many of them can you not be able to rectify, but you'll be able to substitute it with something that is amazing, something that is going to groom you, something that is obviously going to build you? And when you look back, when you're like 30 years older, you'd be like, wow, this is amazing. I have done this. I, for one, I'm a very much an enthusiast person. I am a very much hyperactive person. So whatever I want, I make sure that I get it. So I would say that I am a go-getter. So one thing that I actually realized about growing up is that you always have to follow your dreams, right? So one thing that I actually did was I built a profile for myself on YouTube. Then I built a profile for myself on the computer. And then I built a profile for myself whereby I would gather projects together. For example, I was giving back to the community, and then I did a fashion agency, fashion show agency. I could just say that. I could just call it that. I registered my company. It was registered. Everything was just going well. And along the way, you come across a lot of challenges. And when you go back to the people that are the very same people to encourage you to say, don't be afraid, go get it, do whatever you want. They're the very same people who, when you go back, they turn their backs on you. You understand? So I had also an encounter on that. And I had an encounter with also people who were enemies and they turned to be good friends. So along the way, I prayed about it a lot to a point where sometimes I'd even cry to God and be like, so you making me go out and do all these things and prepare all these things for me to come back again and sit down and ask for more, of which I feel like it's very much unrealistic. And not because I don't believe that God can do everything for me. I very much do. Sorry, I very much do believe, and I don't know, I'm one person. I i i don't know how it happens, but then you get to manifest everything that you're actually talking about. You understand? I mean, whatever is being said in the spiritual world, it manifests into the physical and everything comes together. And people would always want to know how you get there, how do you do it, and what did you do to get to where you are. And it's difficult sometimes, but sometimes it's very simple. But along the way, like I said, when I was talking about character, everything built me. All the challenges built who I am and all the struggles until now, whereby I feel like this is where God says, you still gotta wait. And I'm still waiting. It's frustrating to wait because when you're in your 20s, when you're about to reach your 20s, going to your 30s, you feel like there's a lot that I should have done and everything. But right now, I'm just going to be telling you one thing. The aim here today was to tell you, never look back and aim for the future. Make sure you make all those changes and Yeah, well, you'd look back when you're ready. Take your time.